You want to get to a point where you're multiple millions of dollars in debt. I have 7 figures in debt in real estate, but I'm cash flowing a good amount of money every single month off of all of my tenants. Okay. So I guess talk about why we want to continue to how often can you continue to go back and get increased, because you want to continue to increase that limit so you can go on to the next deal, the next deal, and the next deal.
But my thing is, for every creditor is a different time frame. And
Okay.
like, in other words, say if you go to Capital One, they may say you can only ask for one every 30 days. Or some of these banks may say it's just whenever you want to ask for it. But then you do have some banks or some accounts, like say Best Buy, right? Where you can use a Best Buy card anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a Best Buy store. But the thing is, every time you ask for an increase, where they're not just automatically giving it to you, that's a hard inquiry. So it's best that you call each one of your accounts and say, is this going to be a hard inquiry? But when I ask for an increase, and how often can I ask for an increase? And keep that on file. So if someone says every month, then you can ask for it every month. But there's stipulations to it. In other words, if you have a $5,000 credit limit and you're only using $200, 9 times out of 10, you may not get it all the time, because now they want to know, all right, you already have $4,800 that you barely use, and now you're asking us for 10,000 more, right? So before you go and just ask for these increases, make sure you're maxing it out as much as possible each month and paying it back before it's the statement date. There's a difference between a due date and a statement date. And the statement date is what you use. That's the date they're reporting to the credit agencies. So before you go, ask for increases. Make sure you're actually using that account and you was never late on that account. Call that person.
When you say never late, is that it's due on the 2nd, but you paid on the 5th, or it's due on the 2nd, but you didn't pay the 30 days or after?
Late, I'm talking about the 30 days, because
Oh,
stuff
okay.
happened. If
Okay.
you was due on the 2nd, right? That's
Yeah.
your due date. Your statement date probably is not even until 7 days or 6 days later. That's the date they're reporting whatever your balance is. So I made a spreadsheet with all of my cards and I have their statement date. But you were never late, meaning 30 days late. So that's not being reported to your credit agency, and it's not going to affect you.
Nice. And there's definitely, and the whole thing is you want to use your business credit more than your personal credit, because your business credit, they are looking at your personal credit to determine whether or not you'll be approved, but they don't report when you use your business credit to your personal. It doesn't impact your debt to income ratio.
Now, there's two cards that I know for sure that we can apply for a business credit card. However, they do report to your personal, and that's Capital One and Discover. So those are the two that I'm not saying don't get it, but I don't make that my first ones to get. And that's because them, reporting to your personal. And that's what my goal is, to the point where I'm not using my personal anymore. It's everything business, right? So it got to the point where one of my homes here in Georgia, that was on my personal credit, I sold it to my business, right? And when I sold it to my business, it's no longer reporting on my personal credit. And at the closing table, they gave me 75,000 back.
Mm,
So,
beautiful.
and then I turned around and did the same thing with my vehicle. I went to my credit union and they told me, oh, okay, we could finance it. So I had my car reporting on my personal, but then I went to Bank of America and sold it to my business. So now that's not reporting, right? So that's the goal. We got to start moving away from the personal and doing everything on the business side, and only using that personal to let these banks and whomever just peek at it to see our credit worthiness.
When you sold your car from your
Mhm.
personal to your business,
refinance the car one.
You refinance the car.
I refinanced it to my business name and got a better interest rate, and they reporting it as zero now, as if I paid it off in 4 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to talk to you about that because I was looking at putting one of my vehicles, actually my vehicle in Michigan, I was looking at putting that into the business name, but the interest rate was it was significantly higher.
Nope. No. Well, look, you need to call me. I think my interest rate for that vehicle, I think it was a three,
What?
three or for the most. I'm just saying.
Girl, when you get to that?
A Bank of America. I'm telling you, listen, it can be done. That's why I'm saying to them, credit is it. And I think at that point, I was only a 720, 740.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
really, really good. Yeah, because I'm about to get this new G Wagon and the interest rate on it, they're telling me now is like 7.
I brought mines, I think, 3 years ago. So I
Oh,
don't know if that made a big deal,
yeah.
but it's people are still doing it though.
People are
But
still doing
just
it.
think about it. You wouldn't have to have that on your personal,
Yeah.
right? Let's
Yeah.
just say if the interest rate was to drop again, you turn around and refinance it down to the 3% or the
Yeah.
4%. Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Yes.
so the goal is to be able to continue to use that business credit card, Kima, that business open line of credit to do your down payment and your closing costs on your single families that you're buying, your duplexes that you're buying. We already have lenders that are ready to give you 80%, but we are able to do 100% finance by using like Kima was saying, the business credit cards and or the business open lines of credit. And that's how, and then you go from house to house to house to house. And then of course, you guys know we have amazing grant opportunities too for a lot of these single families. If you have a non-occupied home that you already own, or occupied home, non-occupied $100,000 per home, and non-occupied we get $40,000 per home. So between the grants and the business credit, you can really expand your real estate portfolio really, really fast. Any last points on the credit? And those of you that want to get more information, I'm going to host a Zoom right after this. Oh, let me tell you 2 things. First of all, March 29th in Detroit at 10 a.m., I'm going to be at Chase Bank, Courtown. Okay, at 10 a.m. Some amazing people will be there. You definitely want to be there. And then right after this as well, I'm going to be hosting a mentorship call for those of you who say, hey, I'm ready to connect with Akima. I'm ready to connect and get in the real estate mentorship program. I want to hear the details. I'm ready to go. Kima, go ahead and just give us any last points, because I know credit is just one of those things you got to pay attention to if you're serious about building real estate.
Yes, and one last takeaway I would like to say is, and I've been here and done it. I used to put it off and say I'm gonna get to it, right? I used to put it off and say right now. I mean, not right now, but look at credit as one of the, and I love to use this example. Don't ask me why, but so many people say, oh, I'll have a child when I get more money. What is more money? What is that secret number, right? There is no set limit. You make way with what you have, right? You have to start somewhere. And this is no sales call for you to join or whatever. Whether you go with me, somebody else, just know credit is a process and it's a light at the end of that tunnel, but you have to start somewhere. And I feel that everyone on this call is here for a reason, right? Because they see themselves investing, they see themselves owning homes. But how can you do that? I mean, people can, but we all about OPM, right? Using other people's money. It's no need for you to deflate your whole bank account just to get property, or you keep dancing around fixing your credit, right? So I just want to say, if you're serious about it, I'm here, Jewel is here, and trust and believe whatever we can't find out as a team, we get it done. What they don't see is we be on the phone 9, 10 o'clock. We make it happen. And you can show those that are passionate about it, right? And I just want to say, trust the process.
Yeah.
Everybody results are not the same, but everyone results in the same, which is
Yeah.
deleted, right?
Yep.
So thank you so much. But Jewel, I just wanted to drop in the chat
Yeah.
where they could get
Please.
a list of banks.
Yeah.
Because guess
Please
what?
do.
You may have some people on here that's not credit challenged, right? And if
Right.
that's the case, I just want them to be able to text a word so they will see a list of banks and they'll be able to go ahead and move forward with their investments.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so she's going to drop that in the chat, you guys. Get that information. And I don't care where you're at. Kima, thanks so much for jumping on here. You always, girl, just a ball of fire, tons of strategy. Like I told you, she helped me get my credit life together. My credit went up over 52 points just about a week and a half ago. Just hit that 1/800 process after being hit. Going down 50 points because I had so many hard inquiries and she got those off. But you got to text me and see what we got left.
Okay. I got you. I'm
Yeah,
going upstairs to work. It was my birthday weekend, but I'm still working. And
yes,
everybody
happy
looking at me
birthday,
like,
girl. Happy
thank
birthday.
thank you. But I'm going to drop the chat. And if you don't mind, I would like to drop your booking link. So
Yes,
that way,
please.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
drop that. So that
Yeah.
way, if anyone wants that free consultation, I'm breaking it down to you as far as your utilization as well. I would say,
Yeah.
okay, you got this credit one card, you need to bring this down to 450, and then I will give you options to move forward. That's all free. It's never a pressure call, but this is what I do for Jewel's clients. Okay. So I'm gonna drop it in the chat now. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Al. I appreciate
You're
you. Happy
welcome.
birthday.
Thank you.
All right. So that was really good. So, again, we got everything that you need from beginning to end to get you started on your real estate building process. Don't wait. We're already, can you believe, Apostle Carter? We are already like at the end of March. It's about to be the end of the first quarter, going into the second quarter. And so I just want to make sure that we're moving aggressively, intentionally, and really, really gathering with other like-minded believers. We have an amazing community with everybody that you need from beginning to end, Shirley. We're going to help you identify the off-market property, particularly in the city of Detroit. Why am I focusing on Detroit? Literally, you can invest anywhere in the world. But when you look at doing business, you want to look and see, where is my entry point the lowest? Right, Chris Boyd? Where is my entry point the lowest? Right? Where's my entry point the lowest? Lowest, how much can I make from this particular transaction? How much can I get in rent every single month? We have access to Section 8. We have access to VA. We have access to property management companies because I'm not managing my own properties, okay? In the beginning, I'm very hands-on with my property managers because I'm setting a standard for them, Jerika. But really, honestly, Apostle Carter, after that, it's like, hey, I let them go do what they do, and I just collect the rent every single month, keep the properties well maintained, and that's a blessing, right? That's really a blessing. And so I want you, in this season in particularly, I really want people to hold on to their property. If you can hold on to your property, if you cannot sell your property, hold on to your property. Why? Because there is a housing shortage in the United States of America. There's definitely a housing shortage in the city of Detroit. And you're going to be able, those rent prices, you're going to be able to continue to increase those rent prices significantly every single month.